Today I want to talk about what it feels like to train for a marathon. So my story here is that up until last May, I had run a few half marathons. I was getting faster, but I really wanted to jump and take the plunge and do a 26.2 race. The year before, I had signed up for a race, but I ended up getting injured, and so luckily the race director let me defer to this year. So on May 27th, 29th, one of those days, I ran the 2016 Buffalo Marathon, and I was 3rd overall female, and I think I was 11th overall just in the results. I think there was about 7,000 people in the race, which was a half marathon and a full marathon. So a bigger field than I'm used to, and I really spent about 6 months training for that race. I did other races in the build-up, and I actually got a PR in the half marathon during that build-up, but I really was training specifically for that race since about January. Probably a little bit before that. Like I knew I wanted to do it. So in the beginning, when I started working with a coach, and she was great. She was brilliant, and I learned a lot, like how to structure a training week, and I still take what she taught me, and I implement in my own training now. However, after about 3 months, I just didn't feel like I was getting benefit out of it in certain aspects. Some people really need accountability to get out there every day. I sort of just needed like a rough outline of a plan for the week, and then depending on my work schedule, I could move things around. I could do my long run whenever I wanted to. I could do the workouts when I wanted to, because my job changes very regularly. So it's hard to do like 9-mile tempo run when you work at 7 in the morning. And I mean, I'm someone that runs in the mornings, so that day I would change that day rather than do what was prescribed. It would be a lot easier for me to just do like either a recovery day or a short run. And then also with my nature, I would feel like bad if I didn't do exactly everything that she told me to do or didn't do more. And so I think that having that extra pressure, which she did not impose on me, that I put on myself, was just I learned a lot about myself, that like I need a more relaxed, just like kind of like a book style. Like they tell you what to do for the week, and then you just sort of do it. And if you are feeling better, then you can do more. If you're not feeling as great, take another rest day. So I think that and if I had a coach like the Hansons or like something like that, where if I was like elite and had that thing, like the coaches of those runners know like at the ins and outs of their runner. Like if something hurts, you do this. It's like it's constant contact, which is a little bit different than what a traditional coach would have. And I'm a huge advocate of getting a coach. I think that I'll eventually be a run coach, and I think that if you need some accountability, that is great for you, and my coach helped me so much, but I also felt that it was kind of just I wasn't ready for that in my running journey at that point. So we're still great friends, and she was fantastic. So for the first couple months of training, I did train with her. And then I was sort of on my own, but not on my own. You know, I guess I didn't have a coach that I paid money to, but I have a lot of friends in the community, and the owner of the local running store is a really big mentor for me. And so whenever I had a question about something, I could just ask. And honestly, I think that throwing ideas off of people or just being honest with them and having them give you some advice, but like they're not going to like make sure you do that advice. Like if was really great, and it honestly like kept me motivated and kept me not injured after doing 2 back-to-back half marathons, one of them in a blizzard, the second one was my PR, and then like I could have really overtrained after that, but it was because of people who sort of talked some sense into me. Not that I was going to do anything crazy, but just people just saying like, okay, you did this, now here's how your body needs to recover and then get a little bit stronger, and then you're going to have to taper. So what it felt like to train for a marathon was it was a blast. Like there is nothing better than like coming back from a workout that you just crushed. Like it felt so good. And then easy runs too, like when you feel like you're training for something bigger and you know that like this is your first time but you know you're going to be ready, it just feels great mentally. And so when you're sitting there at night and you're like, oh, that was good, it feels great. However, it takes a toll on your body. I did feel like just like a lingering fatigue was like my baseline. Because I was running or cross training or doing other things all the time. And also my job is on my feet, so which is great for endurance, and I think it's why I'm not bad at, I found that running longer distances came a little bit easier. Not easy, but easier. And so you sort of just have like this base level, like you're never going to feel like $1,000, you know, where like I felt like after a race, like the week after, you feel like about 5 days after, you start to feel like re-energized and stuff. You're recovered from the race, but you haven't started training again or running or anything, and so you're just kind of like, yeah, feeling good, tons of energy. Training for the marathon was great. And so basically what would happen is each week, which I'm sort of wanting to experiment with rather than a 7-day, a 10-day cycle. I think it might be better for my recovery. But so basically you would have one speed workout, one tempo, and then one long run with some tempo in it most of the time. So a speed workout would be like, in the beginning we started off with just like 400-meter repeats, and then we would extend it to 3 minutes, and then 5 minutes, and then 10 minutes, and then it was 20 minutes, and then, you know, you just would try, and that was a little bit faster. So those miles were like 540 pace, 550 pace, around there, which was hard, but the workouts were also shorter. So they were between like a half an hour and 40 minutes, plus warm up and cool down, but the workout itself was shorter. A tempo would be like, I warmed up for a couple miles and then I would run 6, and then the next week 7, and the next week 8, and the next week 9, like tempo miles. So the pace that I wanted to run the marathon at, which for me was 6:40 to break 3 hours. And then a long run would usually be like anywhere from between 16 to, my longest run was 24 miles. And I did do some tempo. Sometimes I did tempo in those, other times, because my body, I'm still a relatively new long distance runner, so a lot of times my body, I would just sort of do a long run and try and do some tempo in there, but it wasn't anything too structured. So that's kind of, and then the other days of the week would just be easy or off. So that's kind of how it was throughout the whole season, throughout the whole 6 months. And so when I finally got to the marathon, it was like this big thing. But I wasn't burnt out. Like I was really happy actually. And I remember the day before and the day of the race, I was just completely relaxed and zen about everything. Like driving up, like just relaxed about everything, because I had everything dialed in. Like I had my nutrition dialed in. I was great, and I was really relaxed. Even the morning of, like, I was just like, wow, I'm finally ready to do this. Like at the starting line, I remember almost like tearing up because I was like, oh, I'm finally doing it, you know? And so that's kind of was my training experience. I felt fatigued a lot of the time. I said no to a lot of things. I ate the same foods, which I'll talk about in the next video or in another video. I don't know when this is going to come out, but and I felt really in tune with what my body was telling me. I also learned how to do things to prevent injury, not to really build strength as much, which is kind of what getting in the gym, when I do my training in the gym, it's more like injury prevention and durability more than I'm gonna get some muscles, you know? I mean, not that I would say no to that, but that's not the primary focus of why I get in the gym. I also did a lot of, rather than double runs, which is what some elite marathoners do or some good marathoners do, I don't think I ever did a double run. I did a lot of second sessions on the bike, which was easy pace. I would read a book or watch TV or something like that. And that really helped out a lot with leg turnover. I think that sometimes, especially because I'm young, running too much is just not gonna be good for me yet, maybe later. And also it was the winter, so it kind of sucked. I ran a lot on the treadmill anyway, more than I'd like, and I didn't want to do 2 sessions on the treadmill in a day. Like, that just didn't sound very good to me. So I didn't do that as much, but that's definitely something that I'm open to in the future. And so then I got to the marathon, and I started with the 3-hour pacer, and he stopped to get water at one point, and I just kept going, and I didn't see him again. And I finished in 2:53 and some change. So, and I was 3rd, and it was great. And my friend Bailey, who also lives here in Ithaca, was 2nd, so that was even better, and it was just great. So that's kind of my marathon experience. And so if anyone has any more questions about that, or would like me to maybe design a plan for them, or maybe help them through the plan that they're on, I would be more than happy. Send me an email, comment below, and I'll see you in the next video.